Sailburuok,
Ministers, authorities, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, everybody. And for those of you that have come from 42 different countries, as somebody said earlier, good morning to all of you. Nowadays, it's almost impossible to know, once we've got through the crisis, what sort of scenario we're going to find. But we do have the impression that there are going to be some major changes out there. We're going to have to rethink the way we go about things. And the current production model is going to have to be renewed from the bottom upwards. And in this new scenario, it's going to be vital to carry on creating value to improve our company's competitiveness. It's going to be vital for our growth and to promote new opportunities and to increase social welfare. Because there's one thing that's quite clear, which is that employability requires an increasing level of professionality. We need to be skilled as people, increasingly skilled. We're going through ongoing change. Productive sectors are advancing at an unexpected rate, very, very quickly, in a very open and hard-fought competitive setting. We're facing up to continuing ongoing changes, which are going to change our model of society, which are going to make structural changes, and they're going to create new balances and a great deal of uncertainty. But in a scenario of uncertainty, we share one certainty, which is that people are the cornerstone of all these transformations, because knowledge, creativity, and talent are things that people have, things that people develop. We share the certainty that if we invest in training, we'll get payback. Over the last 3 years, we've seen manufacturing make a comeback. The national plan in the US for advanced manufacturing, the strategy designed by the United Kingdom, or proposals for reshoring or bringing back activities that had been offshored back into countries, are just some examples of this trend to recover and strengthen industrial sectors that in countries that have high relative costs. And this interest comes about when we realize the increasing weight that manufacturing sectors have in export, innovation, and competitiveness rates. That's how it influences the opportunities for work. And this is also the road, the path that the Basque Country is going to follow. We're going to strengthen our industrial sector and we're going to move towards advanced manufacturing. The Basque industrial sector represents 24% of our GDP, and that's above the 19% average that you get in the EU. The strategic aim of the Basque Country 2020 plan is to keep this industrial GDP percentage. Our challenge is to improve the competitiveness of our industry, make it more sophisticated. Industry is something that's key to our prosperity, and vocational training is a basic kind of investment if we're going to achieve the same. So that's the road that we've taken. We want to drive our industrial sector forward because we want to make firm steps forward on the path of advanced manufacturing. In the Basque Country, the relative specialization of industry is something that's also very important. And in fact, the industrial sector is the cornerstone of our wealth. We're going to work to promote competitiveness. And vocational training has given a lot of good results over recent years, but that's insufficient now. The most recent study presented by the European Commission showed that in 2020 in Europe, only 15% of the working population that is unskilled will be able to access some kind of job. And the aim of FPeuskadi 2020 project is to actually get this level here below 10%. So we'll only have less than 10% of unskilled workers. And what that also means that 90% of jobs will require skilled or very skilled workers. The appearance of new professional fields and the rapid transformation of techniques and equipment have meant that our productive sectors require profound changes, especially in VET. Once again, he's repeating in Spanish what he's just said in Basque, so please bear with us if we repeat in English, because he is repeating himself. The European Commission has said that for the year 2020, only 15% of the active population can actually be unskilled. And the challenge here in the Basque Country for 2020 is to make sure that the unskilled population is below 10%. People are those who include knowledge, creativity, and genius, ideas, and projects. A knowledge society is what's ahead of us, and a knowledge society gets a move on and invests in the necessary resources for training, innovation, research, and development. A society that has the necessary elements to be attractive, practical, and effective. Many of the companies that make up the current productive fabric of the Basque Country were created by people who came out of vocational training schools. And the fact is, this alliance between vocational training and private companies has always been strategic, especially if we want to develop our economy, our society, and culture, because people's employability, company competitiveness have both always been the main objective of any kind of training in the Basque Country, and they are going to help us develop economically, socially, and culturally. Companies and vocational training centres have gradually formed a network of relationships which are good and collaborate, effective, and create a great deal of value. In the future, vocational training can't be on the defensive. It needs to get moving. It needs to concentrate its efforts on a different kind of organisation with a modern future, with a modern vision, and with a need to find a way of doing things differently. A new way of collaborating with companies, with vocational training centres. We want our vocational training centres to, in general, become like agents that disseminate knowledge, become centres that develop innovation projects, and also become benchmark centres for SMEs. Vocational training needs to concentrate on private companies because it's private companies that at the end are going to integrate training, production, improvement and innovation in a comprehensive way throughout their day-to-day work. This is the approach, actually, of the new strategic plan for vocational training that the government will be passing this autumn. We're going to take on board the German model and, in fact, widen what's called the dual system so that training ends up in a plan in which we can get practical placements within companies. We, in our vocational training centres, need to be open, we need to be flexible, we need to continually redefine our objectives, and we have to be prepared for change, for modification. We need institutions that are able to create relations continually. So we need to prioritize the idea of problem solving. We need to offer comprehensive education and also specialist education. But what's centred to everything that we do is ethics, values and commitment, because that's what comprehensive training of people actually means. People need to acquire both personal and professional values. They need to aspire to human excellence. They need to include knowledge and virtue, responsibility and integrity, a feeling of identity and a feeling of belonging, honesty, equality, loyalty, and above all, they need commitment. If there's something that you can say about vocational training in the Basque Country, it's commitment. If we carry on making progress, if we promise to improve at work, then we are setting up an infallible system to place vocational training at the efficiency levels that our country requires. We are aware that training isn't just something to get economic growth and to help people get jobs. Training strengthens fairness, encourages equality, and strengthens social cohesion. All of this is necessary if we're going to guarantee sustainable development and growth that can help us carry on progressing towards a fairer and better society. Today, we're in the appropriate setting to recognize that over recent years, vocational training in the Basque Country has done a great deal of work. It's consolidated a model that's been able to efficiently reply and meet the needs of our productive system and of our society. We're also in an appropriate setting to say loud and clear that if the Basque economy wants to grow, if its companies want to be more competitive, and if people need to be more prepared and more skilled, then vocational training needs to progress. This is the setting to commit ourselves to approving in the coming autumn the strategic plan for vocational training in the Basque Country, because that's a plan that's going to adapt, open up and modernize our model of vocational training. The experience that we have is the best way of guaranteeing our ability to meet this challenge head on. I'd like to recognize all the training centres and associations that have just been given the first vocational training award. You deserve it because you've always been there. You've always supported every single project that we've put out there to try and help this country and the society progress. And I'm sure that now you have a vital role to play in the development of our future. You will do so once again. A great deal of work has been done in vocational training in the Basque Country. Vocational training has become consolidated as a system that is able to meet the needs of society and of our companies. VET in the Basque Country is thorough, effective and efficient, and is able to meet all the challenges that are out there. So that is going to be the starting point for our new strategy that is going to be passed by the Basque government this autumn. To finish, I'd like to congratulate all of those people that have been awarded the first vocational training prize, because you deserve it, because you've supported every single project that we've put out there. Now it's time to develop our future and make sure that it's a bright one. Thank you.